You are Locked On Knicks POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports New York on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
It wasn't wire to wire, but a blowout nonetheless. Welcome aboard, everybody. It's the Locked On Knicks POSTCAST. Knicks rough up the Charlotte Hornets. Final score 125-101. At one point in the first half, New York trailed by 13. Fast forward to the second half, and it was all New York. A team high 27 for Karl Anthony Towns. The Knicks have now won 4 straight, 9 of their last 11. Meanwhile, for what it's worth, the Hornets have now dropped 7 in a row and 10 of their last 11. Two teams heading in opposite directions. Hello, everyone. I'm Jay Berman. If you're a New Yorker, you might recognize my work. If not, welcome aboard. I've spent more than 2 decades in the biz, everything from TV to web to radio. Of course, you can follow me on X at Jay Berman, Jayberman. Welcome to the Locked On Knicks POSTCAST, both on the Locked On Sports New York YouTube channel and the Locked On Knicks podcast feed. The POSTCAST gives you a place to hang out after every single Knicks game. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. It was an impressive third quarter specifically for the Knicks. They outscored the Hornets 38-16 in that period. They opened up a 25-point edge heading to the final stanza. The offense was shared once again, all 5 starters in double figures. Another big night on the boards as well from Cat. New York 3 for 3 so far in their 4-game homestand. It comes to a close Saturday night against the Pistons at the Garden. All that coming up on the POSTCAST. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Your favorite podcast now has a newsletter. Introducing the Locked On Knicks daily newsletter. One stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. Start your day with the all-new free Locked On Knicks newsletter. All right, as we said, 125-101. Another game, another blowout, despite the fact that the Knicks started slowly against Charlotte. In fact, they were down 13 at one point in the first quarter. However, they shrunk that deficit down to just 2 after 1. The Hornets led it 32-30, and then, as we said, strong second and third quarters from New York. As for the numbers, well, the Knicks certainly spread it around. 27, as we said, for Karl Anthony Towns was a game high. Obviously, a team high as well. He was 9 of 15 from the floor. 2 3-pointers, had 16 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks. So a wonderful performance from Karl Anthony Towns, who once again chips in with a double-double, his 19th double-double this season. Remember, folks, the Knicks have played 22 games total. Karl Anthony Towns missed one of them. So he's now registered his 19th double-double. That leads the NBA. Again, he's played just 21 games, and he has 19 double-doubles. So he is a machine when it comes to points and rebounds, and for that matter, the best in the NBA. He leads in rebounds per game, north of 13 a game. Karl Anthony Towns, you know, we talk about, especially last year, we talked about the MVP chance for Jalen Brunson. How about MVP chance for Karl Anthony Towns, who has been a machine, as we said, a double-double machine, his 19th of the season. Again, he's played in just 21 games. So basically every night you're getting a double-double from Karl Anthony Towns. Now, as for all 5 starters scoring in double digits, again, this was a theme early on in the season. At one point, they got it up to 7 in a row with double-digit point figures from the starters. Well, all 5 starters in double figures again tonight. That's 14 times, 14 games that all 5 starters have scored in double digits for New York. We'll get to the NBA Cup, which, of course, the Knicks are not going to look past these next 2 games, the Hornets and the Pistons. We'll get to Atlanta, which, of course, is next Wednesday at Madison Square Garden. Some other interesting numbers. The Knicks almost had 5 guys, all 5 starters, with 20. Mikal Bridges had 19. Josh Hart had 18. What's also interesting about Mikal Bridges' night, and I'm sure we'll get plenty of chat interactions on this, is the fact that Mikal Bridges played 47 minutes. Now, yes, the Knicks struggled after 1, but they didn't after 2. They didn't after 3. And during the 4th, they were not struggling at all. In fact, they were up by 20 plus for most of the second half, really the last 3 quarters. So my question to Tibbs is, if he's listening, which of course he's not, why is Mikal Bridges playing 47 minutes in a blowout? Yet another blowout. Of course, he leads the NBA in minutes per game at 38, well above that tonight. Even OG, who pumped in 25 on 10 of 18 shooting and 3 3-pointers, he played 40 minutes. Now, usually in a 20-plus point blowout, your key contributors are not playing upwards of 50 minutes, close to it. They took out Mikal Bridges late, or at least Tibbs did, late, to empty the bench when the game was no longer in question. But that came with a minute left for Bridges. Played 47 minutes. Again, 7 of 15 from the floor, had 2 3-pointers, 19 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds. It looks as if we're not going to get 31 every night from Mikal Bridges, but it looks as if we've turned the corner on him. As for OG, he had the 40-point performance. That was in Denver. And, of course, that led to a win. He had been struggling since last couple of games. He's sort of back into it, if you will. 25 for OG, 10 of 18 shooting, 3 3-pointers, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks. Talk about filling it up. And yes, of course, we've got to get to plus minus, which we love to talk about on the postcast. Mikal Bridges, despite playing 47 minutes, was a plus 26. That led all players. Plus 25 for Karl Anthony Towns, plus 22 for Jalen Brunson, who played only 27 minutes. Now, Brunson did leave in the 4th quarter, back to the locker room, then returned to the bench with a wrap around his torso, perhaps back, perhaps ribs. We'll have to wait and find out. But again, it looked like a heat wrap literally around the center of him. So we'll have to wait and see. He did come back to the bench. Looks like he was pretty happy and all smiles as he was sitting next to his teammates. The sights and sounds of Precious Achiuwa. He is back. And it couldn't have come at a better time. Yes, the Knicks need help in the paint depth-wise. So he's there for that in his first game of the season. However, Cam Payne was out tonight with a sore elbow. And the combination of Payne and Deuce McBride off the bench has been tremendous. So we lost Payne. We gained Achiuwa today. Again, Precious, in his first game of the season, missed all 21 prior games. Of course, strained the left hamstring in the preseason, late in the preseason. In fact, he played 12 minutes, looked a little gassed, but was a plus 11, which is promising. Scored 2 points, grabbed 4 rebounds, dished out an assist. Precious Achiuwa, welcome back to the lineup. He played 12 minutes. Now, the bench was emptied, obviously with the exception of Cam Payne, because he didn't play. He didn't even suit up. Everybody got run, including Ryan, Toppin, Sims, Hukporti, McBride, and Kolek. And we'll get to Deuce, who played 28 minutes. Deuce played more minutes than Jalen Brunson tonight. Deuce, a modest night. 10 points, 2 3-pointers. Was a plus 13. So he's certainly contributing defensively, which we all know makes Tibbs happy. But again, good to have Precious Achiuwa back. Now we wait on Mitchell Robinson, who was apparently days or weeks away, so not that far away. We saw the exploits of Brandon Miller, the good-looking second-year player for Charlotte. He was, of course, drafted second in the draft last year out of Alabama. He played 30 minutes, scored 26. That was really it. The Hornets had just 3 players in double figures, 2 starters. How about Seth Curry off the bench, hit 4 3-pointers, pumped in 18, most of it in the fourth quarter in garbage time. However, kudos to the Knicks defense for stifling the Charlotte Hornets starting five. Again, just 26 points from Brandon Miller leading the way for Charlotte. Excellent stuff from the Knicks defense. Josh Hart was a plus 17, once again filling up the stat sheets as most Knicks starters do. Josh had 18 on 6 of 9 shooting, 4 3-pointers, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, and a steal. Had just 1 turnover. The Knicks narrowly missed that 30-assist mark, which has been so kind to them, especially of late. They had 29 assists tonight against just 9 turnovers. So again, 29-9. As for the defense, they forced 10 turnovers on the Charlotte side. They dished out 27 assists. All right, we'll take a break. Again, 125-101, the final score, as you continue to watch the Locked On Knicks postcast as the Knicks beat the Charlotte Hornets tonight. We'll look ahead. Yes, we'll take a gander at that, you know it, NBA Cup game, which comes Wednesday night. All right, let's face it. We all hit a point when we realize it's time to get serious about our money moves. A Chime checking account helps you get control of your finances with some cool features like no monthly or maintenance fees, fee-free overdraft protection up to $200, get paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit, plus get spotted on debit card purchases and cash withdrawals with their Spot Me program. To date, Chime has spotted members over $30 million with an activated debit card. Chime will spot you up to $200 when you exceed your balance. Make your fall finances a little greener by working towards your financial goals with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/NBA. That's chime.com/NBA. Chime feels like progress. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank NA or Stride Bank NA. Members FDIC. Spot Me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Terms and conditions apply. Go to chime.com/disclosures for details. All right, Knicks win again in blowout fashion, again in front of the home folks. Again, yes, you're sensing a theme here. Home cooking for New York. They've won 4 straight overall, 9 of 11 overall. The Knicks are 8-2 at home. They've won 6 straight at Madison Square Garden. The Hornets, meanwhile, as we said, not heading in the right direction. 7 straight losses, 10 of 11. And believe it or not, they opened up the game on a 16-4 run. That's right. And would stretch that double-digit lead to 13 before the Knicks finally woke up, turned things around, got a run going, specifically in the first and second quarters, late first, early second. Brunson had 19 first-half points, 19 of the 19 in the first quarter. That's right. He didn't score in the second. It sparked a 10-0 run, did those 19 points. As we said, at one point, the Knicks trailed by 13. Josh Hart, meanwhile, in the second quarter, he was the Knicks Brunson from the first quarter in the second quarter. He pumped in 14. Now, Hart only scored 18 in total. Again, 14 of those points coming in the second quarter. The second time this week, or in a week, it was technically last Friday that the Knicks were in Charlotte. Of course, that was the noon game after Thanksgiving on Black Friday, a noon tip, day 11 of their 5-game road swing, and they won 99-98. We bring it up because the Knicks struggled with the Hornets in Charlotte. Not so much tonight. So kudos to Tibbs and the Knicks, who, despite struggling against the Charlotte Hornets in Charlotte last week, the Hornets struggled themselves tonight. As we said, Knicks, all 5 starters in double digits for 14 games. By the way, the last time Charlotte has beaten the Knicks, March of 2023. So we're coming up on 2 years since Charlotte has beaten the Knicks. Really, Home cooking and easy times for the Knicks despite the slow start. All right, 125-101. Knicks outscored the Hornets, as we said, 38-16 in the third quarter alone. The Knicks got plenty of offense from all five starters. Bridges, as we said, at 19, OG 25, Cat 27, Brunson 24 in just 27 minutes, and Josh Hart pumped in 18. All five starters were plus in plus minus. Obviously, when you're going to route a team, that's going to be the case. Plus 26 for Mikal Bridges, who again played 47 minutes. That will certainly push up his league-leading average of minutes per game. It was at 38. That's going to go up. Bridges played 47 of 48 minutes in a blowout. Can't make sense of that. And yes, Jalen Brunson did have a wrap around his torso, but he only played 27 minutes, essentially sitting out the entire fourth quarter. Brunson tossed up just 8 shots, made 6 of them. 6 free field goals. 5 of them were three-pointers. He was also 7 of 8 from the line, so he had 24. We talked about the prowess from three-point land for the Knicks, who were 18 of 33 for 55%. Just excellent shooting from beyond three. When you make more than you miss, you're going to win. Knicks shot 54% from the floor, 41 of 76. They were 25 of 32 from the line. Of course, the Knicks are the best free throw shooting team in the NBA at 85%. That's even with Mikal Bridges at 60% as a starting player shooting 60% from the line, and his team still leads the NBA in free throw shooting for what it's worth at nearly 85%. So the Knicks doing wonderful stuff, really all over the court. As we talked about Deuce played 28, and obviously with Brunson a little banged up, leaving in the fourth quarter, Deuce was going to get extra minutes. He was a plus 13, scored 10 points, hit 2 3-pointers. And again, the combination of Deuce and Cam Payne in the backcourt off the bench has been dynamite. Yes, Cam Payne didn't play tonight, but Precious Ochoa did. Good to have the big guy back. Again, he played 12 minutes, was a plus 11, had 1 basket. All right, you're watching the Locked On Knicks postcast as the Knicks crush the Charlotte Hornets at Madison Square Garden. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll look ahead to, yes, a regular season game on Saturday, and one on Monday, and then, of course, the NBA Cup on Wednesday. All right, hey, NFL fans, you can start this season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and you guessed it, so much more on the same page where you place your bets. How about that? You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed. That when you place your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com, FanDuel.com. It was a breezy 125-101 victory for the Knicks tonight. They're 14-8 overall. As we said, they've won 4 in a row and 9 of 11 at home. Sterling 8-2 and 6 straight wins at home. And again, the Knicks overall are 14-8, and up to the minute standings check in the NBA. The Knicks began the day a game and a half behind the Magic with 3 games in hand, however. So even in the loss column at 8, Magic are 16-8. Knicks are now 14-8. So they're a game behind the Magic for the 3 spot. Obviously, the Cavs and Celtics are 1 and 2. Magic 3, who the Knicks just beat. Then the Knicks at 4, Bucks and Hawks 5, 6, and then Heat, Nets, Bulls, Pacers 7, 8, 9, 10. As for that schedule, we talked about it. Still had 2 more quote-unquote regular season games before the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup. So here we go. Saturday against Detroit at the Garden. And as we said, the final game of their 4-game homestand. Again, Detroit, 7:30 Eastern at the Garden Saturday night. Monday night, we hit the road. We're in Toronto for the Raptors, also a 7:30 tip. And yes, that is a regular season game. And technically, so are the NBA Cup games, but obviously a little more juice now that the Knicks have advanced. Wednesday is the NBA Cup quarterfinals. At the Garden, it's an early start time, a 7 Eastern start time against the Hawks. Remember, the Knicks, by virtue of their 4-0 march through the first 4 games of the NBA Cup, got the 2 seed in the East quarterfinals. They have to wait again until Wednesday to face the Hawks. New York, again, the 2 seed in the East. So again, they'll play Wednesday. Then it's back out on the road, assuming at this point there is not a semifinal or a final game, which there very well could be. Knicks have already beaten the Hawks this year. But if they do that, second set of games would be Saturday. The semifinals would be Saturday, and then the following Tuesday would be the final. So technically, if we skip over the NBA Cup games, the next game after the Atlanta game on Wednesday would be December 19th in Minnesota, then December 21st at New Orleans. So 2 more tough road games after the NBA Cup. And again, if the Knicks make the NBA Cup semifinals and finals, those games are in Vegas. So again, to repeat, the Knicks 3 for 3 on their 4-game homestand so far. They knocked off the Charlotte Hornets despite a slow start tonight, 125-101. Karl Anthony Towns, 27 points, 16 rebounds. Josh Hart had 18 and 10. Jalen Brunson left early, but had a smile on his face sitting on the bench. He played just 27 minutes, but did pump in a big 24 points. Your favorite podcast now has a newsletter. Introducing the Locked On Knicks daily newsletter. One stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. Start your day with the all-new free Locked On Knicks newsletter. All right, also want to mention our partners in crime over at Locked On Knicks, the All-Stars. Gavin Shaw and Alex Wolf, they're the best. Subscribe, enjoy, follow. They are great. Again, everything over at Locked On Knicks. All right, as we said, Saturday against Detroit, Monday in Toronto, Wednesday back home in the NBA Cup for Atlanta. My name is Jay Berman. You've been watching the Locked On Knicks postcast. Follow me on X at Jay Berman, Jayberman. Our next postcast will be immediately following Knicks and Pistons from the Garden Saturday night.